So let's talk about the shoulder press. So shoulder press is essentially a vertical press. And some key things to think of, just like say a chest press, is that we want that kind of wrist and elbow position to be stacked. So we're not pressing kind of inwards or way out here. We want that movement. It's going to be a slight arcing motion, just to keep that wrist and elbow kind of stacked. So things also think of is I prefer to put a bench kind of at a slight angle, because if you're too upright, what that can do is it's really hard to get that kind of chest and lower back position to be strong, so you're not arcing your back too much. And everyone's shoulder, especially as we age, tends around a little bit, purposes from poor posture. So to properly activate that shoulder, if we're too upright, it's hard to kind of get the kind of middle shoulder to be used as much. It tends to bias the front. So what you want to do sometimes is have a slight, decline or incline. Not so much that you're kind of doing a chest exercise, but enough that it feels comfortable. Like you have good kind of equal activation of your shoulder. So looks a little something like this. And then you kind of want to, like I went over before, if you've seen my video about just owning your hip position, you don't want to arc your back. You want to think of kind of rib cage down and get in a position where as you're pressing, it doesn't change. It is tough, especially when you're struggling. What tends to happen is the chest wants to get involved and you end up arcing, but you want to kind of own that position. So from here, like this, so you want to have that wrists and elbows kind of stacked the best you can, so you get that kind of equal use of your shoulder. And then other thing to think about is just general kind of hand position. So if you go out here, it's going to hit that kind of your nice, kind of your mid shoulder, so the side of it, kind of this guy right here. So that you have three muscles for your shoulder. You have the front delt, you have the side delt, and the back delt, the rear delt. So if you come close, palms facing each other like this, it'll bias the front one. You don't get a lot of side shoulder. Whereas if you come out here, weight like big time, you get the side shoulder a little more. The right answer is usually kind of in between. So somewhere kind of in the middle, not really 45 degrees, but you got to find a position that works for you based on how your shoulder kind of sits. If you're a little more rolled forward like I am, you want to kind of open up as much as you can, but get in that position where you don't feel like you're pinching, or just like, once again, getting good activation of that shoulder. One last thing to kind of point out is that when you press, what should happen is your shoulder wing kind of wings up. You don't want to get in a spot where your shoulders in your neck are tight and you're coming into your shoulder. You want to still have kind of space here as you press. You shouldn't kind of collapse. So usually what that means, you want the shoulder blades down, and just as you press, all they're going to do, these little kind of like wings, are going to wing upwards as you press. If you feel like getting tight, that means they're kind of coming up. So the shoulder will do three main things. It'll move up and down, it'll rotate upwards, and then it comes forward and back. So we're not using the forward and back. That's for rowing and pressing. We're mainly just going upwards. It's not coming up and down while we're pressing. We're just kind of keeping down. And as we press, we're letting that shoulder kind of wing upwards. So those are the main tips about shoulder press. The thing to understand too is it's the opposite of a pull, like a vertical pull. Just like a chest press and a row are kind of opposites, just you're pulling that load or weight from a different spot, either away or toward yourself. With a vertical pull, like a pull-up, you're pulling from here down, whereas with a press, like a vertical press, like a shoulder press, you're pushing the load from here upwards. So those are the main things to think about when you're doing a shoulder press or pressing overhead.